Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the Pivotal Podspective, the unscripted, real show where we get extraordinaires from all over the globe to come and chat with myself, Elliot Brown, your host, and my wonderful co-host,
Adrian,
about everything that's pivotal. It could be something they've done in their life, something they do now, something they help their clients with. Who knows what we're going to find out on this show, but we are here on a quest to find out as much as we can to help you guys to pivot personally and professionally. Adrian, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing very well. Just came from a lovely shopping session around people that all had COVID. So it's been great today, mate. Yeah.
Nice. How do you know they all had COVID?
I looked at their face and it looked like they had COVID. So maybe they didn't, but just their face looked like they had.
Very controversial, my friend. Very controversial.
They look similar with our cheering crowd, right? So, yeah, that's why.
They're all two-dimensional, were they?
Exactly. Yeah. What about you? How was your day?
I had a great day. We've been very creative, haven't we? Today, there's been some great things that have happened on a business level, but also, we've had quite an amalgamation of all sorts of bits and pieces, all very positive, all moving things forward personally and in business as well. So we're all good. We've definitely been pivoting today, and we're going to pivot a little bit this evening or this morning or this afternoon, wherever you guys are. In fact, if this is the first time you're watching this show, then we are on live every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday evening from 7 p.m. BST. That's British summertime, which isn't going to be for much longer, but that's UK time. So check out wherever that is with you. And if you are watching, guys, we want to hear from you. Get involved in the show. Get involved, hashtag, and drop a comment in below. If you want to ask a question to our guest or to us, then please do so, or let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching live, then say we're watching live from The Hague, for example, which brings us very nicely on to our guest extraordinaire for this evening. And we're talking mindset mayhem with this speaker and strategic coach. And this is Loubna Zarrou. That's it.
Zarrou. Yeah, you said it correctly. Yeah. Cool.
And Loubna is a dynamic and powerful strategic coach. She works with C-suite leaders and entrepreneurs, which I'm definitely intrigued to find out about. A very charismatic lady who I believe helps many, many people. She speaks, she's a coach, she's strategic, and she's all about the mindset. So anything I've missed out there, Adrian?
Not really. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
So that's why we should just introduce her right now.
Absolutely. So without further ado, let's bring Loubna onto the show.
Hello.
Hello, Loubna.
Hi, Loubna. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm great.
Same
Good.
here.
So we're all good.
So we can start the show. Just before we start the show, I have a quick question. And sorry, Loubna, I don't want to be disrespectful, but you said BST, British Summertime. There is a BWT as well?
Well, that's what that stand for.
British Winter Time.
Oh, right. Weirdly, that wasn't what the W popped into my mind as, that's for sure.
I know. That's exactly why I'm asking the questions, just for people to see what a dirty mind you have, all right?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to hide that, to be fair. You probably got me right. I mean, you guys can comment.
Are you sure you two are friends?
Well, I do wonder at times, to be honest. So how are you, Loubna? You're coming out from The Hague in Holland, right?
In the Netherlands, yes.
In the Nederlanden.
The Nederland.
Well, that's about as much Dutch as I can speak, apart from klootzak. And I think it's hopverdomme. Is that something like that? Is it? They're both swear words, right?
Swearing.
Yeah. Well, they're the first words you ever learn, aren't they?
Yes. In any language, let's be honest, they're the easiest to learn. If you know them, you can practically do anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it looks like he learned those straight from his mum wombs, so that's why I don't learn things like that.
Big love, Mum. She'll be no doubt making a comment very shortly as well. Mum, Loubna is in Holland, in The Hague. So, and anybody else who's watching, Loubna is in Holland from The Hague. Anyway, moving on. Mindset mayhem this evening. We've definitely covered this subject a little over the last few months. We've had anti-mindset coaches. We've had mindset coaches. We've had people that call themselves other things. You don't call yourself anything to do with mindset in your title, Loubna, but it's a big thing that you like to do. So give us a very short sentence, right? Why mindset?
Well, you may or may not have experienced or are aware of any of your life experiences that you've been stuck or you've been doing great, whatever it is for you, but everything is relatable and goes back to how you think and what you think. Each and every one of us has about, on average, between 60,000 and 90,000 thoughts a day.
Uh-huh.
Now, that is a lot.
That
Unfortunately, most of them are fully automatic. You are not aware of it. Imagine yourself getting into your car and needing to think about how you can drive that car each and every time.
That would make it, well, it'd be like when you first start doing anything, isn't it? After a while, it becomes
it would take you about 3 months every time to actually leave your parking space. But yeah, okay.
Exactly. So that most of our thoughts are fully automatic is great. It is not so great when you're trying to do something or you're trying to achieve anything and you're stuck and you're not progressing or moving anywhere. So it has to do with what you think and how you think. Yeah. And in any transformation, that's where it starts. That's what I believe.
Yeah. So you are about not just about mindset, are you? You know, you cover a multitude of bits and pieces working with clients, but you're a speaker. What? I mean, listen, let's get off mindset for a second because we're going to be going on to that, right? But when you speak, you don't just speak about mindset, right? You speak about all sorts of things, don't you? What's your core topic when you speak? Because you are a speaker as well, right?
Yes. The core topic in the last 3 years has been happiness at work.
Okay.
Before then, it was anything around IT. I'm an ITer by trade.
Ah, right. Okay. So IT's your background.
IT is my background. Yes.
Ah, okay. But it was very much about happiness at work. So clearly, you obviously need to have a decent mindset for that.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. And it starts with the very first thing that you can be happy at work. Most people believe they can't.
Right. Okay. What about now, though? Now that the workplace has changed, I mean, that's got to be challenging when you're talking about being happy at work, because I mean, some people are much happier and some people are not so happy with the whole thing because they're used to having that, you know, the sort of group working sort of ethics and the things going on around them. But you know, the dynamics have changed now. Has that impacted on how you work with people and what you talk about now?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, a lot of people, like you said, they are happier because they're at home. And at home means flexibility. You get to decide what you do, how you do it, when you do it, which is great for people that need that flexibility. That are entrepreneurial in their attitude and the way they behave. Yeah. So it's been a positive. Being forced to stay at home. For a lot of other people, it's absolutely horrendous, because they need that connection. They need that social bonding with their colleagues. They need to have their manager around them to tell them what they need to do, because if they don't have that, then they have no clue what to do on a day-to-day basis. Another part of this that I found, and there's been research here in the Netherlands specifically around it, is that people are struggling balancing their priorities, because at home, you've got your personal life and your work life combined. Yeah. And most of the people that work in large corporations, I mean, entrepreneurs most of the time are used to the balance. They're used not necessarily used to the balance, but used to trying to balance anyway. Exactly. They've got a little bit more of a frame of reference around how to do it. But if you're used to working in a large organization and large corporation, for example, and I've worked in large organizations, then you're used to getting up in the morning, going to the office, grabbing a cup of coffee with your colleagues, and then installing yourself behind a desk. Yeah. And then in a couple of hours, you get up to either get a cup of coffee or go have lunch. But there are people coming to your desk, etc. Now that you're home, you don't have that. So you feel alone. So loneliness is a very big problem. But also, you need to manage your own work. There's not someone that comes like, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? No, you need to manage that. And that's something that people have to relearn to be able to do that. So it impacts their happiness, most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Just a second. Sorry, we have someone. So hello, hi Kel. I think
Hi,
we said
Kel.
your name correctly.
Thanks for joining us, and anybody else, of course. Make sure you drop your name and your top. What's the topic for today? Mindset mayhem, my friend, because it's all about mayhem in the mindset, whether it's good or bad. So we're going to take the mayhem, use the mindset, and make it non-mayhem. Maybe, I don't know. We'll just go with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, it sounds
good.
like a plan, but
Yeah, we're going to go with that. We're going with it. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I think you're right. Entrepreneurs, listen, whether we get the balance right or not, we are used to having that. I mean, we make work and life you sort of combine as one. Adrian, you're definitely getting a much better balance now. We've mentioned this before. Since your move from the UK, you've definitely got a much better balance now. Do you think? Wow,
Not
okay.
necessarily. I think I got a much better balance since I have less clients. Okay.
But you've got the right clients now. There's a difference.
Exactly. Yeah. And I have time to focus on other things which I enjoy. So yeah, that was all about it, to be honest. Get your priorities straight. Try not to do everything yourself, and yeah, sometimes be happy with who the fuck you are and what you've done today, rather than keep actually looking at what you haven't done. Right.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I mean, a funny point, though. I mean, you sort of say, less clients, and some people will be going, oh, really? That's not a good thing. But you've got to bear in mind, you can have too many of the wrong clients. You could have a load of small clients that just really are not right. Listen, I've been party to it. Loubna, have you done that where you've just taken on a lot of the wrong people?
it still happens sometimes. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
of course.
how did I attract these people, for God's sake? How?
Yeah.
Because they drive me mad.
Yeah, and that's a mindset thing as well, I mean, to be fair, you've got to get your head around. Some people, it's not all about quality, quantity. It is definitely quality. And if you had 5 really good clients that you are making a massive difference to, and you are charging extra money because you can add the value, you work well together, they see the value, they understand what you're doing, that's way better than having 10 that are shit and are giving you shit every day and are expecting you to, in essence, run their business and their lives and everything for you as well, which we all have been party to doing. And anybody, you guys out there that say, oh, I've never done that, I doubt it. I think we all have, particularly if you're on that journey of wanting to grow and develop, because actually taking on too many or taking on the wrong clients is probably the only way you really do learn who is right for you and who you're right for as well. Wow.
Exactly. I'm just
that was profound, wasn't it?
It was.
Hey, that was a soapbox moment.
We'll take a clip out of that.
So this is hello, Elliot's mom.
Hi, mom.
We were just saying before you came on the show that Loubna is from Netherlands.
Yes,
The Hague.
She is, mum.
Yeah.
So you can send a Dutch message, mum, if you like. It'll probably be spelt wrong, Loubna, but we'll go with it anyway. Big love, mum. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks very much for everybody else that's watching and joining us live, of course. And if you're listening to this as an audio podcast, which will be probably sometime in November, then you want to be checking out the live shows that we do as well, because you can see what goes on this this virtual studio of ours.
Exactly. And we had a question here, just a second, from Heikel. It was like, not being rude, but who is Loubna?
I have no idea who Loubna is, but we'll have Loubna on the show.
Exactly. And you said you're actually working on your mindset, Heikel. So if you want, you can just leave us in the comment, what do you struggle with in your mindset? What's your main problem? And if we're going to have time, maybe Loubna is going to help you.
We're not taking the piss. It's just humor. We like to be real on this show. Loubna, you tell Heikel what you class yourself as, Loubna.
What I class myself
as? What do you class yourself as? I mean, you're a speaker, you're a mentor, you're a strategic coach. Does that cover it all?
No, of course not. No, and it's one of those things I don't like to give myself labels, because I can be anything that is needed at a certain time. So I can be a coach, I can be a mentor, I can be a critical friend, I can be a speaker. Lover. It's the form in which I provide value.
Yeah.
But no one understands me in that sense. That's the multi-passionate person in me. So the most important thing is, and the best way that I can describe it is, I am a strategic mentor who is very good at getting you clear, focused, and gaining momentum with lightning speed. I work fast.
Now that is good. Okay, well that takes us very nicely in a segue onto the subject then. So what is it that you do that gets them there really fast? I mean, it's very difficult because you're not got a particular client sat there and you're not asking them questions. But let's say you've got to know both Adrian and I over 10-15 minutes before the show, although I had to disappear very quickly.
Yeah, we're both really lazy, depressed and lazy guys, So, but we want you to do something to get somewhere. So how are you going to help?
Let's say we're depressed and lazy. You can see we're really depressed and really lazy. But
yeah, absolutely. No, the best way I can answer that question is to give you an example. So, for example, I had one of my clients working in a large organization. That's about 1,200 other colleagues. So it's really big.
Okay.
And she had been made redundant. Her boss had told her that she needed to go because her job disappeared. And she was like, okay, well, what do I do next? And had applied to an internal function and got rejected.
Right.
Now, that rejection hit her hard. And that hard that she basically cried at the office. And I saw her and I grabbed her and I said, what's going on? She said, I've just been rejected for an internal function. I said, but did you want that job? She said, but no, I need a job. I said, that's not why I asked you. Did you want that? She said, I don't want to leave. I said, then tell me that. So first of all, the clarity around, do you need that job description, job specifically, or are you running away from something, or are you avoiding something? So that's the very first part that I got in the very first 5 minutes. Make it clear on what do you really want? You want work. What that looks like, that's what we can discover. And I had a conversation with her about 30 minutes. And I said, so how about you flip your mindset? She said, what do you mean? I said, how about you go into the next interview with the mindset of you guys are applying to me instead of the other way around. Shift it around.
I like that.
Shift it and just get in there and say, you're applying to me. I want to know if this is the right job for me as much as you want to know if I'm the right person.
Absolutely.
Now, she went into that interview about a week later, and she got out and she walked out of the room, and I said, and she looked with a big smile. I said, what's going on? She said, I don't know. You'll never believe what happened. I'm like, what? She said, I dominated the interview for about 35 minutes when the director said, do you mind us asking you a couple of questions? And they had the last 10 minutes.
And do you know what? I think that is such a valid point. It is important these days because I'm not being funny. They are gaining you as a skilled employee. So, you're going into it. It's going into a marriage, isn't it? You're going into a relationship with these people. So, in fact, we've actually been doing some interviewing for something else over the last week, and I find it really interesting when I sort of say to them, would you like to do this, that, and the other? Because you've got to feel that we're right for you as well as the other way around. This wasn't something that was done, back in the day. Is this something that's being done more now, do you think? Do you think people are getting a bit wiser, getting a bit more confident?
But just before that, I'm curious if she got a job.
I left that cliffhanger hoping you would just leave it, but
no.
You're paying attention, Adrian. No. It was a no.
But did she not want it?
But the difference was she was happy that it was a no because she felt it wasn't right.
There we go.
That specific job for her at that moment in time was not right for her. Yeah. But it changed the flip the switch exercise that I did with her, changed how she thought about it, and it changed the way that she was thinking.
Yeah.
In terms of, no, this is not right for me because what I am looking for in work is A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
And she checked them off as a checklist during the conversation. So she felt more empowered and more in control. So it wasn't something that happened to her. Yeah. No, she caused the no.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think moving forward now she'll deal with sort of interviews a little differently? She'll approach it in a different manner?
Oh, I can always. She's decided she wants to start a business. After that, she said, "No, I want to follow in your footsteps. I believe that more people need to know how they can take charge of their happiness at work and take charge of how they show up at work. So I'm going to start doing the courses and trainings that you've done." And she is now on her way to create a thriving business.
Oh, very good. I like that. I like that a lot.
So, Heikel, I hope this answers a bit, or helps you a bit with your struggle. All right.
Okay. So Heikel is struggling with that. Well, listen, take this on. Think about things in a different way, and consider what it is. I mean, my advice on that side is, if you can marry your passion with your skills, then that's a very, very good place to start. So have a think about that. Note a few things down, some pros and cons about maybe the situation you're in right now, the sort of work that you do. Write those down, and then think about what it is that you like to really do. Now, it may well be that you can play the guitar and there's no money to be made in it, so you maybe got to think about things a little more strategically than that.
Can I flip that on its head a little bit?
You flip it as much as you like, Loubna.
So Heikel said flip it as well. So yeah, just
to be very clear. One, if you're, and it's great advice. It's the intersection between your talent and your passion, and what you can be and you can charge for. You can find work in that is paid, but don't discard things that you might be thinking of. I can't make money with it, because I know of an example of a very successful entrepreneur who sells courses and teaches other people how to play the guitar.
There you go.
And he makes 7 figures.
Wow.
So that's passion combined with knowledge, I suppose.
Of course, but even if you're thinking, I mean, we're being raised with no jobs in the art. There's no work in the art. There's no work in the cultural sector. But there is always a way. If you're willing to combine 2 passions, there is a way. Because if you search on YouTube, you will find other people teaching how to play the guitar. You will find people teaching you how to write a book. You will find people teaching you how to knit. I don't know. There is something for everyone. So don't discard something that is a hobby of yours now. Yeah. As in, I can't make money doing it.
Yeah, so I have to be honest with you guys. Mentioning the guitar was clearly the wrong thing, but my point was wrong. So you can literally find a way of making money doing anything. To be honest, you literally can, even in the world that is right now.
Even.
So again, for some people that, I don't know, if you enjoy washing your patio, did I say that correctly?
Patio, yeah.
Patio. There are actually videos on YouTube and even on TikTok with millions of viewers just because they love seeing dirty and then clean, or things like that. It's so many things that it's unbelievable. Honestly, I looked at some point just to check. If you enjoy popping people's spots on their face, again, there are videos with millions of views about that.
There are. I mean,
channels in this, and it's whatever you like. Okay, just there are people over there that like it as well.
With all due respect, I mean, the guitar was wrong, but popping people, you have to pop a lot of spots to start making money on YouTube.
No, you won't. Trust me.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. When can you know that
offline if you want?
Spots, yeah.
Yeah.
We got off subject a little bit, to be fair, but no, we haven't actually. I mean, it's relevant. It is relevant. There are plenty of people. You're absolutely right, Loubna. I mean, I was sort of, using a bit of humor. But you're absolutely right. You can make money out of anything, and people are doing now. There's people being very, very creative in the world that is right now, and they're being able to pivot because they don't have any option. They've got nothing to lose. There's people losing, work and things that are right, left, and center. But there's also a lot of people gaining work right, left, and center as well. That's a mindset thing. This is all about mindset right now. Whatever's going on in the world, take no notice of the outside influences and just keep your vision good. Wrap yourself around the right people, the people that think positively and are pushing themselves forward with the right mindset. On that note, with what is going on, and people are, a lot of people, a huge percentage of the world are, I think, in the wrong mindset when it comes to the big C, or COVID, as we'll call it. Big C is the other thing, but what would you say on that subject? I mean, this is a bit of a funny subject, but what would you say to keep yourself in the right mindset for work wise and personally as well?
Yeah, well, there are 2 ways you can look at it, and I'm keeping it simple, so I'm just using 2.
Yeah.
One is you're an away from person. So your mindset, attitude, and behavior is, I want to get away from problems. I want to move away from things. So that's the category of the group that you will see wearing masks, advocating being careful, advocating social distancing and whatnot, which is fine. Let's be very honest. It is very important that we all stay safe. I'm not going to discard any of it. And there are people that are towards people. Now, I'm a towards person. I get motivated and driven by, tell me where we need to go, even if it's a big challenge, but it gets me activated in a way that I feel there is so much possibility and so many things that I can do, and I just charge into the front of the room and just get going. And I'm a kind of person that will more likely focus, or I focus on my health. So I focus on prevention. So I don't look at how can I avoid getting the big C word. I get on, am I healthy? And can I do something for both my physical health as well as my emotional well-being? Because you can think yourself healthy, and that combination is magical. So, and I think that we need to be mindful that these two can have very different perspectives and look at the world very differently and respect that perspective. They don't have to agree with me. I'm a towards person. I know that. And if you're away from, it's fantastic. We will probably never understand each other fully, which is fine. But I do respect your perspective and mine, and do whatever feels right for you now. I don't think that any of us know the exact truth of what the best course of action is. So do the best thing for you.
And I think you're absolutely. You know what? You couldn't have said it better. I think you're absolutely right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I think you're right, because you've got to do right by yourself. If you feel comfortable and you feel positive and you feel good, then generally good things, positive things are likely to be going on. You're going to generate that, aren't you? That's a good way of having your mindset right, because if you're doing that, then you can worry about everybody else. You can worry about all these other things, but really you've got to take care of yourself. We could be, there's all sorts of stuff going on. Who knows? We're all learning. This is all new. This is a whole new world. I'm intrigued by it. I heard something recently that, don't get stressed about things. Don't worry about things. Be more intrigued about the income, what's to come. And I think it's a really good way of putting a twist on it. And I definitely sometimes I go, oh yeah, what about that? And I'm going, well, actually, no, I'm intrigued about the next thing. If I go back, in fact, let me use this as an analogy. No, maybe that's not the right word. I would, and I've had a few relationships in my life as people that know me very well. But I was always intrigued to the next chapter. I was never like, oh, well, what's this person going to be like? I've experienced this and that wasn't great or whatever. And you could say about this business relationships, business experiences in life. I'm always intrigued about the next chapter because you have no idea what's going to go, who you're going to meet, what relationship you may build. And you could use that in a professional way as well. And I used to use that a lot, and I've definitely using that a lot more now as well. And I think it's quite a good word to use, isn't it? Intrigued about what's going to happen.
Most definitely. And I know that we've been focusing on be positive quite a few times now. Whether you're experiencing positive emotions or negative emotions, which trigger positive or negative feelings, is both of them have a function in our lives. So when you're experiencing something negative, you're angry, sad, or you're feeling anxiety, it's a signal that what you're doing right now is not in alignment with who you are and your values.
Absolutely.
So it's a signal, it's feedback. So don't discard your fear or anxiety or whatever you're feeling and the negative side. It's a signal that you should be doing something else.
Yeah, for sure.
And the positive is signaling you're on the right track.
Yeah.
You're on the right track. So if you start, because there's a lot of, in the personal development space, thinking, oh, you need to think positively 100% of the time, or you need to be happy 100% of the time. Believe you me, I'm teaching other people how to be happier at work. I am not happy 100% of the time.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous. It would make me inhuman.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Just a second, because we have a few comments. So Heikel said, I think I should be working with you guys. So we're reading your messages, Heikel. It's just, you need to understand that it's rude to interrupt the guest when he's talking, or Elliot as well. So, and he said, Please, guys, tell Loubna to contact me on Instagram. You can contact her. We're going to leave some contact links at the end of the show. But for now, Loubna, where can people find you? I suppose if they just type in your name on Google, like I've just done before the show, they can find you everywhere.
If you type my name in Google, you can find me either on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever your platform of choice is.
Cool.
Good. Well, listen, you might look like you might have a client there, Loubna.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
Hey, we'll sort the commission out later.
Was that lightning speed? Get a client within what? 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah. Usually we do better than that, but yeah. 30 minutes.
Yeah. We're dragging it out this evening.
Yeah, joking.
But yeah, no, I think. Listen, I think you know what you're saying is so poignant right now, and Loubna all the way, woohoo! It really is right now. You know, there's all sorts of things going on, and people are making changes and life changes and professional changes. So it's good to have a different twist. And you're right. You know, there is a lot of negativity, and we can all be negative. And it's sometimes you've got to take that. And I think you're right. If you're not feeling right and you're feeling anxious, there's a lot of things that aren't quite right. Because you don't naturally feel anxious. There's something that's in you to as a warning mechanism, right? And don't get me wrong, people have anxiety, and that's a slightly different thing. And there are there's obviously people that got deal with depression and things like that, so that might bring that on. So I'm not saying that that's for everybody, but generally, if you're happy-go-lucky and you're a person that pushes things forward, and you start feel anxious about certain things, you're absolutely right. In fact, Adrian and I were talking about something today that in fact was something that was both clear in both of our minds, that were our skill sets were. We've been looking at other areas, other things that weren't really what we were very good at. And it didn't feel quite right. And we had a moment today in a conversation, didn't we? Where actually those things marry very well. And it was like we simplified things. We chunked it down into what we really like doing, what we're very good at doing, and what we know that we can give value on doing. And actually felt really good. And actually, whereas I get little twinges of excitement, I know there's lots of entrepreneurs like this because we don't necessarily build ourselves up for disappointment sometimes, which is possibly the wrong way of doing it, but I think it's right. I think it's true. But when you do feel that excitement, it stays with you. Then you're on that Scalextric's groove where you're there. You know where you're going. You're going to stay on that track. You're not going to spin off. And I think that sort of works quite well. So yeah, today's been a prime example for me to bring that home. And it's funny that we should be talking about that now.
Yeah, just a second. We have someone else. That's great podcast, guys. Really enjoying this. Thank you very much for enjoying it as well. Kelly's going to start stalking on Instagram right now, he said. So yeah, don't worry.
Get stalking, Heikel. Get stalking.
No, that's great because you need to take action now, all right? Just don't let it talk more or anything like that. Just right now, and it makes complete sense. And what Elliot said, it's completely right. It's like for too long, and I think too many people, they try to maybe copy others or try to do what works for others. But today me and Elliot said, fuck that. Why we don't do what works for us, right? Don't try to sell it as a solution that fits everyone. Just say, guys, that's what we do. This is what's working for us. If you can identify yourself with that, that's perfect. If not, again, that's perfect as well, okay? There's no point in me trying to teach you how to, I don't know, knit or make sushi if I have no idea about that, right? And I've just seen it that someone else can do it, right? Yeah, exactly. I've just brought that because Loubna she's a big lover of sushi. But yeah, that's what I said. Just do what you enjoy, what you think you're good at, right? And go with that mindset rather than go with other things.
I think, listen, I don't. I think we overcomplicate things sometimes. It's so easy to do it, Loubna, isn't it? When you've got all these, the social media and all, you're looking at other people's stuff, and anybody that's starting a business this year, I think this year has possibly been more, forget what's going on, right? But more difficult than ever because there's been more people on social. More people have realized this stuff on social. We've had more time to look at social media than ever before. I personally haven't, but it's generalism, as in many people on the planet have had more time to do these things. That's got to be a fuck of confusion, man. I mean, how much did it confuse me before looking at these things, before what happened this year, just because I want to learn what everybody else is doing and find out what they're not doing to pick up on those things. And now being bombarded from everywhere. And of course, Facebook is now wanting to help as many small businesses as possible. So you're now seeing even more. Oh my God. It's like that. That's not a great mindset to be in. That's a massive overwhelm, which is spoken about a lot.
Yeah, but let's be honest. I mean, you get overwhelmed when you're trying to follow everything.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm a big advocate is work from the inside out. And most people are working from the outside in. Whether you copy someone else's work or whether you're following someone, you don't know everything about that person. You don't know all of their life experience unless they tell you. You don't know what they believe. You don't know what they've been through. And it's just too much of a, for me, it's a hassle, because I could say I want to be like Elliot, for example.
Good luck with that.
Following him everywhere and start copying everything that he does, but it might be completely out of alignment with who I am, what my values are, how I want to show up in the world. So I start changing my complete personality because I want to be like Elliot. And the only thing that I will guaranteed end up with is sick.
Or a beard.
I'll get sick. It will impact my physical health if I try to be someone else, which is completely out of alignment with who I am. Yeah. So it is very important, I can't stress that enough, to work from the inside out. So it's better to invest in your personal development. Get to know yourself. Really, truly get to know yourself. Yeah. So that's one part. Get to know who you are, your personality. You can ask other people to give you feedback on your personality. There are tests if you want to find out what your strengths are, what your signature strengths are, and tap into them. Play more into those strengths. One of the success ingredients that I share with people on interviews is that's one of mine. I know my signature strengths really well, and I know how they can show up in the world and the many different ways that I can use them. That's how I get to do what I do today. Yeah. So there are a couple of things that you can do that will help you to get that core, your core very strengthened, both physical as well as emotional and mentally, so that you can decide, okay, if I want to model Elliot, then I can model the things that are fit for me and not do everything that he does in the way that he does, or Adrian, or whoever you follow or do. So I think that's very important. Another aspect that I really want to emphasize is be aware that the majority of us have been conditioned as of young to focus on the negative. Think back on the very first report card you brought home. And if it was all good numbers, but one number was a 5 or less, how much time did you spend the conversation with your parents on that one number?
Yeah.
A lot, probably, like most of us. Yeah. It was about that negative number that was less. Even if you had all straight A's or 8, 9, 10s, whatever your scoring is in your childhood, it was the conversation was about that one number. And that could have been a subject that you're not good at. It could have been you didn't feel right, you were sick, whatever. Right. Conversation was about that one number, even if the other 9 were absolutely perfect and excellent. We didn't celebrate that. And that's one of the things that we've grown up with, whether it was in school or with our parents, or even if in a corporate job. That's what you're great at these things, but you need to be focusing more on that. And that was the conversation starter. So bear in mind that is what you carry with you, whether consciously or unconsciously. So to be able to flip the switch, another switch, to, okay, what am I good at? That will take effort. That will take some mindful, intentional effort to really tap into what am I really good at?
Sure.
And to be proud of that. Yeah. Because we're not conditioned to be proud of what we're good at.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I think it's a very good point. I think it's very valid. I think that's where most people struggle with, and even myself. If you're gonna ask me now, what do you actually want to do, okay, or what's your goal in 1 year? I think I'm gonna struggle
when you grow up.
Yeah, when I'm gonna have starting a beard as well, like Elliot. But yeah, for now I'm still a baby. But yeah, I And I've seen something that I said quite a few times, especially since I came back in Romania. I've seen loads of people living other people's life.
Yeah.
Forgetting about their life, to be honest. It's just like constantly almost like stalking other people. You see what that guy did? No, I don't give a fuck about that guy. I just, come on, have you seen what you've done today? You just looked at what other people did, but you haven't really done much, you know? So, and that's, I think it's quite difficult to find your true insight or who you are and what you want.
You see, I mean,
well, let's be honest. Everything that matters takes effort.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
The question is, do you want to invest in finding out?
I think you have to at some point. It's a must at some point, because otherwise,
Well, I think we're all investing more these days, aren't we? With having the ability and being more open to invest in personal development. And in America, it's been a big thing for the last 20, 30 years. Tony Robbins and and all the other big speakers, on stage speakers, and they don't even class themselves as motivational. They're strategic coaches, aren't they? Like as you are a strategic mentor. It's very much about strategically placing things and doing things to make your life better, to put yourself in better positions. I think they're very wrongly labeled as motivational speakers at times, which I know that Tony Robbins is really sort of poo-poos the whole motivational side. He's not a motivational speaker. It's not about that. The fact that you get motivated is the way that you perceive it. It's that's how you're using it to motivate yourself. A good coach doesn't necessarily need to motivate you. All they do is coach the best out of you and get the best from you. Again, that's another mindset thing, isn't it? Getting yourself into the right mindset position to accept things, use it, and go, oh, do you know what? That's motivating because I want to be like that. I want to do that. I need to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm not even going to try. I'm doing it already. And that's something that I've learned quite recently. Whereas probably earlier in life, I think I naturally did a lot of that. I sort of just push forward. And then you get some knocks and you get as confident as you may well be, you get knocked and then you lose a little bit of confidence. And as much as you be outgoing and you've got that confidence, you still think twice or maybe 3 times or 4 times about doing something. Whereas when you're younger, you just did it. And if you got knocked, you just got up and did it again. And I think sometimes, not that I'm getting old, of course, because age is a state of mind. But I definitely found myself in the last couple of years thinking a little more about things than I should do. And I definitely overthink things, don't I, Adrian? And I think really badly. All right. Okay. I really badly overthink things. But I think if you just sometimes you've just got to do shit. You just got to do it. And if you're in the right mindset, you won't double think you're going to do it and you're going to make stuff happen. So whatever the outcome, it's going to take you in a direction, usually forward.
Yes. Well, let's be, one of the things that I can say about that is motivation will get you started. It won't keep you going.
Very true.
I think that's one of the reasons that Tony Robbins doesn't want to label himself as a motivational speaker, because that's just the starter. Yeah. And Tony Robbins is committed to get you started, but also to keep you going. So to commit to the change, to commit to the transformation. And I think that that's one of the reasons why motivation is fleeting. You can get it and then it's gone and you need to recharge it again. It's not that. It is a sense of commitment to yourself and persisting no matter what, because you committed to yourself. Yeah. Because that is what will keep you going. And that, bottom line, will help you achieve your goals. They've done studies around what is the difference between people that achieve their goals and are successful in life and not successful in life. Yeah. Even your intelligence is not a precursor to success. It really isn't. There are people that were very intelligent in school, really good at school, didn't amount to anything later on in life. And there are people that came from difficult backgrounds and achieved because they persisted. They made that commitment to, I really want to achieve whatever I believe I can achieve, and persisted in it, no matter the setback, no matter the challenge, no matter whatever came on their way. They just had an optimistic mindset because they believe that the future will be positive and they can influence it. And they are resilient. They've trained that muscle that's called resilience. So a setback is not a problem. It's a challenge, and a challenge they are looking forward to tackle.
Are you a reader, Loubna?
Oh, yes.
You've got a few.
One of my signature strengths is a love of learning. It's number one. And this is just one of my bookcases. I've got two.
Have you?
Yes.
I mean, we talked about this quite a lot in the show. I've only started reading books again in the last probably 3 or 4 months, I suppose. Started reading bits and pieces. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was one of the thing that actually got me sort of. Well, one of the books that got me back into reading, and I actually listened to it. I've actually got the book, and I haven't even opened it. I've listened to the audio version of it numerous times, and we've spoken about this before. I'm not necessarily one to pick up a book and read it all the time. I am trying to do that a lot more in the evening and in the morning, and I think it's a good thing to do. Even if you do 15 minutes of it, a coach of mine basically advised me to do that, and I think it is good. You pick up something that you wouldn't usually do, and you don't think about anything else. So you're actually giving you some me time, even if it is only half an hour a day. It's a good book, though, right? There's some great bits in there. None of it is mumbo jumbo or anything you don't know. It's actually very, very factual. Everything you hear in it, it's a bit complex, but a lot of these books are very factual. They just make you think about things and put it into, chunk it down and put it into a way that you think, yeah, I've done that before. I used to do that. I have done that. Of course, the seasons change. These things change. That changes. That never changes. It's how you perceive stuff. And I think perception is one of the biggest things that you've got to get over when it comes to mindset. Would you agree?
Yes. It's how you look at things and how you interpret things and how you give meaning, because our brain is a meaning-making machine. So I can look at this and say, this is a bottle of lemonade. And you would say, no, it's a bottle of water.
Yeah, I would.
Is
it lemonade?
It is whatever you want.
It is water.
But no, I get what you're saying there. We're going to take that as
my analogy or my attempt.
So I don't talk about books very often, but what is one of the main books that sort of stands out in your mind? I mean, through doing what you do.
Oh God, yeah, I've got several.
Really?
I'm looking forward to this one.
Okay. Indistractable. Okay.
Yeah. Because it's about how to control your attention and choose your life, because we get distracted.
Yeah.
All of the things outside.
Yeah.
And the reviews around this book are amazing, and it literally gives you strategies and tools how to deal with all of those distractions. So
the name of the book is Indestructible. Yeah. By who?
By Nir Eyal.
Yeah. Okay. Just for our listeners,
Okay.
Cool.
So Nir, Nireyal. Okay. All right. Indistractable. I like that. And to be fair, how many distractions are there? Particularly, we was talking about earlier on. Now where people are working from home and didn't have that. There are more distractions than ever. I mean, as I said, being entrepreneurs is something that I don't think we ever get used to. I don't think we ever necessarily master, to be honest. But it is a complete, always a challenge, particularly if you're working, doing stuff wherever you go, and you're always working on your phone, whatever you're doing. There's always going to be a distraction. We could work less hours, and there's plenty of people who have written books on actually working less hours if you concentrated on those hours and having a much richer life. But that's a whole nother subject.
Well, one of them has written this book.
Yeah.
It's Tim Ferriss.
4 hours working week.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one I was thinking of, but I couldn't think what it was called.
The 4-hour work week by Tim Ferriss.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you a 4-hour work week, I mean, I could read that book cover to cover 10 times, and I don't think I'd ever have a 4-hour work week, to be fair.
No, but the essence of Tim Ferriss's message is that if we work focused, so we really decide we're going to cut off all of the distractions and do something for a certain time chunk, so anywhere between 45 to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And you only solely focus on that one task, so nothing else, you will get more done in that 45 minutes than if you try to do it with all of the distractions. So your phone pings and you want to look at it, because every time you do that, So you'll distract yourself from a task that you're working on.
Yeah.
It's going to take you 20 minutes to get back to the task that you were working on in that moment in time.
I've brought that up a lot. I learned that years ago and realized that's exactly, he's right as well, And
think about a work day. So anyway, let's say you work 8 hours. If you do that 4 times or more, then you are losing hours.
Yeah, for sure. So
definitely. There's been another research on average in an 8-hour workday, you are probably productive for anywhere between 3 to 5 hours maximum. Yeah.
Oh, I would say probably less. If you're probably less, because something's always going to happen to come in and change that. But we're going to be doing, I think, a show on and around that and sort of planning as well. So I think there's a lot on this subject, and right now I think it's really important to cover these topics, these subjects, because there's a lot of people that struggle, and there's a lot of podcasts that don't really cover it in a real free-flowing way. It's almost like they're trying to tell you how to do things. And I don't take stuff in like that. I don't know about you, Loubna, but I don't take stuff in like that. Adrian doesn't either. It's a far more natural way, and having a chat with somebody. If you had to have a chat with a friend and they were to tell you, you'd take that easier than listening to somebody that was just telling you how to do something you don't really know very well. So you wouldn't you? Sort of take it on board.
Well, no, it depends. I am a why girl, so I want to know why. Why are you telling me to do it that way?
Yeah.
And if that story that you tell me around why makes sense to me, then I'll experiment with it, because I'm curious by nature. So I'm like, okay, let me try this. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not a person that discards it just on the face of it. So if you can explain to me why I should be doing that, and it seems fair, then I'll experiment with it. I'll give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
But if you can't explain why I should be doing that, or you tell me because I said so, I'm the type of person that say, well, I will do exactly the opposite just because you said so.
Yeah, I think we've all got a little bit of that. I've definitely got that for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, listen, Loubna, I think we've definitely covered a few subjects, a few topics that around mindset and little different ways and things that you can do to change that, and little tips. I think definitely. Where can everybody find you, Loubna?
Well, just type in my name as you see it on the screen on Google, and you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, basically the major platforms on social media. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anybody,
which one is the third one?
If anybody's listening, well, there'll be links around this as well, so check that out. But anybody that's listening, then it's Loubna Zarrou. So check that out, and you'll be able to find her pretty well everywhere. And if you are watching this, then there will be links in and around this on Facebook and YouTube, and possibly on Twitter as well. I think this goes out on. I know it goes out on, but I think it goes. The comments will go out on as well. Let me just have a look where they go. Let's see. Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So there are the links there for you, Loubna. Well, listen, you've got great energy. You definitely, I can understand why you make a success of what you do with your clients. I would love to get you back on another show at some stage with another guest. I think we could maybe, if they're not in the right mindset, I think we could probably turn that around in 30 minutes, and you'd probably get them as a client.
Oh, you never know.
Another one.
Another one. No, but honestly, it was lovely to be on your show. I hope it was of value. I got to share a lot of what I wanted. So
great. Well, thank you very much. I think it's been very, very enjoyable show. You've been an incredible guest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Well, listen, if you want to know more about Loubna, then obviously check out the links. As I said, it's Loubna Zarrou. If you're listening to this on a podcast, audio podcast, and check the show out Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday with Adrian and I. We are gathering guests from all over the globe to come and chat about their extraordinary talents, their pivotal ways, all the tips and tricks they've got to help you guys out there to level up personally and professionally. You can check us out on pretty well every social media platform and profile, where there's loads of them going on. Essex Business Radio. Twitter is Essex Biz, BIZZ Radio. And we will soon be on Pinterest, and we'll soon be on TikTok as well, coming up in the next month or so. So check those out. out. If you want to get on the show, we are currently looking for some interesting extraordinaires that we would like to get on as guests. So check out go to the Essex Business Radio Facebook page and tap on send a message and then tap on get on a show. Elliot Bot will very nicely take you through a few questions, and if you feel like you're a good fit and we're a good fit and the questions fit, then we'll be getting you on the show. So we'll check out that. If you want or you know somebody that would get on the show, would love to be on the show, then share this, please, if you do. If you're watching this afterwards, then put hashtag replay. Let us know where you're watching from and share it to anybody you think might want to get on the show. Loubna, it's been incredible. Thank you very much. Big love to you.
Thank you, Loubna. It was great.
And Adrian Dorobantu, thank you very much for co-hosting with me this evening.
Thank you, Elliot, for
And
having
have
me.
fun.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much, guys, for watching or listening. Big love to you all. And we're going to go for now, but we're going to be back tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. We've got 2 guests on tomorrow. And we are looking forward to it. So check out tomorrow for who those guests will be. Big love to you all. And we're going to say ciao for now.
Brown cow.